everybody. Welcome to Yoko and Frisky's Dimensional Rift. I am your host, Yoko, and my brother from another mother, Osama bin Diesel, Frisky Dubois, Gentleman King Toot Tut, Fast and the Furious 5, is here!
Hey, nice to see. Well, I don't see anybody. We've been doing this for like 2 years and I still suck at like introing myself. But yeah, good to be back. We have a special guest today. Hailing from Florida, we got...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we got Riley Wolfgang.
Hey, what's up?
She's in the house.
I'm in the house.
And this week we're going to talk all things Resident Evil, the Ocho Village. But yeah, before we talk about that, we got some news. Lyoko here, she landed a role in CW's The Flash.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she's playing Impulse.
Y'all stupid. But you know I'm looking good.
Yeah, that guy looks just like you. It's so funny.
No, it was great that you sent it to me. Because in my little cartoon world, I was sending my friend. I was talking to my friends. We were helping them move. And I was like, oh man, who sent a picture of me? And they were like, what? That's weird. And I showed them the picture and they were dying.
Oh my god!
Yes.
He just showed me the picture. That's so funny.
Oh
my god.
Beautiful soul.
Right?
You getting that Vancouver, those Vancouver bucks, because everything's filmed in Vancouver on the CW.
Save that money. Tax write-off.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out. Last week we got news that we're getting a sequel to Attack the Block, which,
yeah,
for those you don't know, like you,
Yeah.
Attack the Block is like this super awesome like sci-fi movie, and it's a bunch of kids from London like fighting aliens, and it slaps. It's really good.
You have to get on DVD because it's hard to find.
Yeah, and, that's where John Boyega got to start. You know, before he was Finn, wasting his time on Star Wars, he was in Attack the Block.
Rude. I mean, the truth, it does. Unfortunately,
he got wasted in those.
Yeah,
movies.
he did. Poor guy.
But it's all good.
He was gonna be the Jedi in that movie, but you know what? All the guys who are complaining, you know, they can have their fun. It's fine.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about Village. Let me set the mood. I got like a little playlist here. Yeah.
Resident Evil and chill.
Yeah.
I used to have, when I worked at Hoop Stop, Resident Evil 4 OSTs. I had Silent Hill OSTs. I hated them all because it made me scared, but now I'm not scared of them anymore, and I'm like, man, I wish I saved them for my friends.
I know. But yeah, Resident Evil has a lot of great music. So much good. But anyway, let's get right into it, man. It came out a few weeks ago. We're gonna go full spoilers. So if you haven't played it yet, that's on you. And overall, you know, what did you think? Start with you, Yoko. Both of you, let me just put that out there, watched me play the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I needed your company. I'm working my butt off in this other dimension here. Getting my deliveries. I had to do like an Excel sheet with over 400 lists in it. So I had my big screen next to my computer laptop, watching you play. It was comforting. Wasn't scared, but I can tell you right now, Ethan, you need new hands. That's all they kept. All they kept doing was just like, Ethan, you got hands? He's like, yeah, why? Fuck them. I should have said goodbye. You know. Sorry. But for real, I thought it was was, I liked it better than 7 by a long shot. I did not like Resident Evil 7. I thought 8 was good in the fact that it felt like a combo of 4, and I got like a Castlevania vibe. I don't know why. Maybe because there's a lot of medieval, villagey type things there, and
it takes place in a castle.
Yeah, but the cult story was pretty epic. So that's how I felt. It was enjoyable. I wouldn't play it. Don't ask me to play it. Unless somebody pays me to do a let's play, then I'll play it. Y'all can see my reaction. It's fine.
What did you think?
I really, really liked it. I was telling him, I don't think you can really go wrong with what I call the Elite Four setup, where you set up your villains and you're like, here's who you're going to come in contact with. I think it just creates this, like, expectation where it's like, alright, like, these are the fuckers I'm going to fuck with this game. And, like, it makes you excited to face them again. And I love the settings, the characters, in terms of, like, the design and everything. Like, I really liked... just, like, the feel of it was really good. And I do agree, I do like it better than 7. 7 I liked, but I felt like the most scary parts of 7 were in the first hour. Whereas, like, Village had, like, moments that, like, kept coming. And, like, the different environments really helped with that. Like, setting different moods and different scares. And fuck that baby house. Fuck
exactly!
That
baby house! I had to ask him, like, look, dude, I can't look at the baby house. I'm kind of stressed already. Can I just not look at the baby house? And he beat it when I turned it off, so that I was thankful.
There was a scene where he was getting into the elevator and we could just hear the baby, and I was, like, legit, like, I didn't have the controller in my hands, but I was like, go! 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 Get out of here! Ugh, fuck that room.
I don't even like the dolls.
Yeah. The dolls were very tame compared to the baby for me, though. Like, the main doll... What was her name?
Was it Donna?
Donna? Alright, the main doll that you have to find and play hide and seek with. Her voice was very, like... anime character to me, so, like, it was a good voice, but it wasn't a creepy voice to me. So it didn't creep me out as much. Yeah. Especially after the fucking baby scene.
Let's talk about the game. Let's break it down into sections.
Sure.
Because I think the story is worth talking about. My overall impressions, I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's up there with, like, the best of the series. Like, 2 remake, 1 remake, 4. And I had a really good time playing it again. Like, the best Resident Evils are the ones you want to keep playing over and over again to get all the stuff, all the unlockables. You know, you want to speed run it and do all this and that.
Like 6.
Yeah, you were absolutely destroying on the second playthrough.
Yeah, I love 6, but, you know, that's because I'm weird. I like all of them pretty much except, like, Code Veronica and 0. But,
nobody likes Code Veronica.
Yeah, man.
Nobody likes Code
Veronica.
That's the one that should be getting a remake instead of 4, because they're remaking 4, and it's dumb, because 8 is basically the same environments as 4. So you're going to be replaying those same beats, like, a year later from now. It's going to be like, why are we doing this again? But whatever. My thing...
VR version or something?
No, the VR version is for the original 4. Which is fine. You can do VR in 4. That's cool. But remaking it, like, it still looks fine. It looks fine. But I digress. People were saying this game wasn't scary. They were like, "Oh, 7 was scarier," and I'm like, what is a scary game to y'all? Like, you know, this game had a lot of tension. It had better enemies because I replayed 7 this week as well, so I can compare the two, like, really well. And 7 is like, you know, it's a little stressful, but I wasn't, like, really scared. Those mold things are stupid looking once you get a good look at them, and it's only scary if you're, like, trapped in the basement with the lights off and there's, like, 3 ganging up on you. That's it. But a lot of reviews I've read, you know, have been like, it wasn't as scary as 7. I'm like, Really?
7, again, I think only really was scary in the first, like, hour when you were first learning the creatures and, like, learning that the people couldn't be taken down for anything, and, like, you were like, shit, like, this is a lot to work with. But then, like, as it goes on, you're like, oh, this is the one enemy I'm gonna see over and over and over again until I'm sick of seeing them.
Yeah, the mole creatures suck.
Yeah.
They're terrible enemies. Like,
I think with 7, what made it scarier was the eeriness in the appearance of how disgusting and moldy things were. Because
it's mold. You can find mold in my house right now. Like, it's not scary.
in ambiance, whatever.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just weird. Like, you know, I thought it was scary, you know, especially, you know, the dollhouse section. But the lichen enemies, you know, they're very intimidating. They get up, Jesus.
Stupid.
They get up in your face, you know, and they dodge attacks. And
Listen up. You guys need to be fired for the insulting werewolf imagery that you have. They weren't even scary. They look like Muppets, okay? You need to make them look higher furry. Higher furry to make your werewolves look like werewolves. You can have one look real and put pestilence on its face. That's what you do, Capcom. Instead, I see Grover popping out with some jeans. I'm not scared of Grover. What do you, or Snuffy. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, yeah, they could. I mean, werewolf designs, that's, you know, I don't know. To me, it didn't bother me, but of course, you know, you guys maybe.
I think it just, there's two different kinds of werewolves. There's the werewolves that are very wolf-like in appearance that media continues to ignore even though they're right there and they're beautiful. And then there's, like, the more man-wolf style, which I also like. I thought the werewolves were fine in this. It didn't bother me too much, but, like, I get what you mean.
She's talking about the big ones, like the big fluffy ones, right? Yeah.
They have
The big...
little hair.
The big ones that are on fours. No, I hear you. They definitely could have probably worked a little time, you know, a little more magic on their face. But overall... Okay.
Look like a dragon. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to
No, go on your 10-minute werewolf rant. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. You were fired up.
I'm just saying. As I said angrily, they made the dragon look like a dragon. We'll get to that, obviously. But you could tell it was like, oh, it's a moldy dragon. Okay, it looks cute to me. All right. And then you gotta have some pool noodly. What is it? Remember, what was it? Betty Spaghetti looking gosh darn werewolf piece of crap? Don't insult me, Capcom. Don't insult me.
You gotta write them letters.
Alright, go ahead.
Overall, like the bosses or like the family in this game is way more interesting than the fucking bakers. Like the bakers are they're just Trump supporters. Like
they're just the family that you find at the gas station arguing with the cashier.
Yeah, it's like what's so intimidating?
And then
about
like
them?
what the last, I forget his name, but the young kid.
Lucas,
like he was like the least intimidating, and he's the one who lasts the longest. And I'm like, Lucas, go away.
Yeah, it's just annoying. So yeah, let's just like let's just dive in. You know, like you got that first section where you're holding a baby, so it's like immediately they're throwing propaganda that, you know, you should have a baby because it's like you start off with a baby in your arm. You know, I see the subtle image, subtle messages, Capcom. And you're walking around the house, and then Chris shows up. Chris motherfucking Redfield in the house, and just shows up and kills your wife. Just kills Mia. Doesn't explain a thing to Ethan, and then
gets
him
mad
out.
at him for freaking out and like justifiably like following him and trying to figure out what's going on. And he's like, Ethan, how dare you? If he would just fucking explain.
No, he's like, Ethan, no.
You cannot find out about this stuff until the third act.
He's like, first of all, Ethan, you should have a man in your life and stop going out with these women. Second of all, Ethan, you laugh, sheeping you, using you. Where was me? Where was me? I called it you. And then he took the baby. I'm through it. Through the baby.
Yeah, I want to know like what the hell was his plan? Like he was taking the baby and Ethan, but they end up in the village. So where was he taking them to the village where all the, like the evil people are? Like I don't
I think
understand.
he was taking them somewhere else, and didn't the truck break down?
Yeah, she broke
Yeah.
out of the truck,
Yeah.
Miranda. Anyway, they end up in the village, and then you get that intro with the Lycans where you have to survive, and it's like Resident Evil 4 again.
That was a
was
really good
there.
intro, though. Like, that feels really intense. And as someone who was just watching and not playing, I was sitting there like, I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do at this point if I was held the controller. Like, you, like, cornered yourself in, like, this one area so you could get a better shot at them. And I was sitting here like, what the fuck would you do if you were just running around? Would you just be getting your ass handed to you by, like, 5 of them at once?
Well, that's the thing. They want you to survive. Like, that's your first goal. Survive all these Lycans. So the normal people are just gonna try to like shoot them, but you're run out of bullets real quick. Mm-hmm. So you just have to run. And I think that could be off-putting for like new players. They might be like, I can't get through this.
It was very intense, I will say that. I mean, like, good, but it was very intense.
Very spooky. But once you get past that, you meet up with the rest of the villagers, and they're dumbasses because immediately as soon as you get there, the house goes up in flames.
Yeah, that was very silly. That entire section was very silly. I, like, forgot about that in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it would have been cool if you had the option to save certain villagers and maybe you get rewards.
Yeah,
based on
it was
that.
weird. It was just like, here's these characters, have 5 minutes of them talking to each other. Now they're all burning alive, including the girl that you thought you might be able to save. Nope, she's dead. Bye.
Yeah.
She went after her
It's
zombie
like,
father.
Daddy! Daddy! And then she died.
She, like, gave the fuck up. Even Ethan was like, don't give up! And I'm like, she's giving the fuck up.
Why does everyone die on me?
See,
Good
that's
line.
what happens when you don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Ethan got some good one-liners. He's like,
Oh, God.
crazy bitch.
You know, I was very,
that
like...
bastard.
I was very whatever about Ethan in the 7th game, but he really grew on me this game. His one-liners were starting to kill me a little bit.
Yeah.
I love it.
They gave him more pizzazz because he was very passive in the 7th game.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
what the hell?
Like his wife gets, like, dragged away, and he's just like, shit. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And you're right. Yo, at least though he had a bit more of a personality. It was Dad.
Yeah, but I'll take it. It's hard to go
Yeah.
wrong with good dad, protective dad. Like,
Yeah.
good.
Where's
your
my
daughter.
baby? Where's Rose?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna make Rose a feminist, and we'll teach her to hate men every single day.
Yeah,
Tell me I'm wrong.
they released this game on Mother's Day weekend. They knew what they were doing. Because basically the final boss is a mom. we'll get
Yeah,
there.
no, they released this on Mother's Day weekend.
They did. We'll get there. But to me, the game doesn't truly start until you hit up the castle.
Oh, no.
That's when the game
When you
like,
see all
officially
4 of
starts.
them and Mother Miranda.
That's when the game
That's
starts.
when it really feels like you're in it.
Like an hour in.
Or how should I put it? All my friends call her Mommy Milkers now, and I'm like, please don't.
God.
Mommy Milkers.
All of y'all obsessing over her right now. Y'all need to chill. It's... Bro, I mean, y'all need help.
I think she's cute, alright? She's cute.
I'm
People be
fine.
right.
Y'all don't need help. That's got good taste. I'm just being...
But
Go ahead.
Oh, well, let's just talk about her because she's the first boss.
she is the first one, and I think she is genuinely the perfect first one. She gives you a very interesting environment. I love the design of her, like, monstrous form when it, like, comes to in that fight where you're climbing up the tower. And then you have her 3 daughters, which, like, adds a new element of, like, an enemy that you can run into in, like, a kind of mini-boss style. You gotta take them out, like, and...
Her daughters, right?
Yeah.
Her vampire
Her
daughters.
vampire daughters.
Who can't go outside because they'll get cold and die.
Stop, it's so real. Her vampire daughters are basically the girls from Sex in the City and what's that witch movie from Disney?
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, they're pretty much the girls from Hocus Pocus meet Sex in the City.
Which is
Like,
getting a
was a
sequel.
couple.
It reminded me a little bit of the Hex Girls.
Yes. They're gonna put a spell on you.
They're gonna try, and then they're gonna freeze to death.
Yeah.
Me, you know, I know the majority loves like Lady Demonstrecu. Dimitri,
Lady D.
Dimitri,
Lady
Lady Demetria, and I don't know. I was just indifferent on her the whole time. Like I love her design, but everybody's just like, ooh, and I'm just like, whatever, man. Like she looks cool, and look at that. She's the first to die. They used her in all the marketing just to kill her off first.
They did, which I was kind of underwhelmed because I thought she would have played a bigger role. You know.
That's what everyone thought,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean she's she's probably the coolest looking of the four besides Heisenberg. Heisenberg is he's the dude right there.
Yeah, I like Heisenberg a lot.
And before you even get into the castle, he throws you into like a saw trap where you have to like
Yeah.
avoid these like spinning blades and shit. I like the first time they came down on me, I just instinctively just went into the corner. I was just like, I'm just gonna hide in the corner, and that was what you had to do. So I got lucky.
I was shouting. I was like, "Don't get that! Don't get in that roller derby trap or whatever you want to call it."
Yeah, but she should have been like the main bad guy because the main bad guy's Miranda, and you barely get any time with her.
That and also like they've in the beginning when you see like Heisenberg and her like arguing, like I kind of wanted more of that. I liked watching them all interact, and then like they just kind of all went their separate ways and died separately, and especially because there was clearly some beef between Lady D and Heisenberg. Like I wanted to see more of that. I kind of wish they were like the final two.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it definitely would have been cool to see them just interact with each other more because you can tell they don't like each other,
which was interesting. It's an interesting dynamic.
But that's real brother sister sibling rivalry. But it you know what, I equated him with Heisenberg with he just wanted a bro, and he's like, I want him to be my bro.
Yeah, he literally wants to team up with
Trying
you.
to
So let's team up
Yeah.
and kill Miranda,
I
dude.
thought they were. I
What?
thought they were gonna go to Dave and Buster's together and have a beer.
Oh, they should have. That's the alternate ending. Yeah. So the whole castle section is basically where you get your old school Resident Evil vibes. You have to collect four things.
I think it had
open
some of
a
the best
door.
puzzles too. I like the puzzles in that one.
Yeah, you get your puzzles, you get your exploration, you're going up and down the castle because she keeps throwing your ass down to the dungeons, so you have to come up, secret passages, like, that's your classic.
And also her, like, constantly being a presence that is, like, following you.
Yeah, eventually when you kill her daughter, she starts to stalk you,
Yeah.
rightfully so. And, you know, she'll pop up on you, she'll scare you sometimes. She'll just show up.
Proving the, feminist agenda, I'm just saying, by killing all the girls in the castle. And then they're like, we gotta get our, get the masculinity out of the...
Masculinity!
I'm mocking someone. I just keep doing that. Sorry.
It's mocking a friend of ours.
Oh?
Yeah. But yeah, that whole castle, that's a lot of people say that's where the game peaked, and I guess they're not wrong.
I don't know. I think that's a little unfair. I do think that it has the strongest presence, but it's also, like, there's probably a reason, like, they put that in the advertising, it's also the first, because it's like they wanted to keep other stuff more of a surprise. Yeah. I do think that the dollhouse and the swamp could have... Well, no, they were fine, but Heisenberg's was really long, the castle was really long, and then that made the dollhouse and the swamp feel very short to me. So I don't know if they needed to be longer or the other ones need to be shorter. I don't know.
No, each like section had their own like different gameplay. Like the factory and the castle is like the Resident Evil stuff. Like you need to collect shit, put it into other shit to open other shit, and then as the dollhouse is like an escape room style thing, like the Lucas level in Part 7. Which is cool. I love solving puzzles. I love doing escape rooms, so that's like right up my alley. And then the fish dude, you're just avoiding him until you fight him. Like that's it.
His boss fight was cool, but the rest of the level was a little bland.
Yeah, you can get through it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you booked it through that. I was like, holy shit, we're here already? We're fighting?
But yeah, I just love the castle layout. It's very pretty. It has a lot of detail, especially if you look around and read all the notes.
Spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, that's where they spent the most time, and it's annoying because once you're done with that part, you can't go back in. which is
Well,
stupid.
not just that, but I was just saying, like, after the castle part, it feels like the hardest parts were in the beginning, and then the middle was easier, and then the end with Heisenberg. That was annoying.
Yeah, that's why they cranked it up. The castle section I didn't find too hard. Like, I was always going really slow because I was thinking, like, oh, like, something's gonna pop up at me. And sometimes they did. Like, there's basically zombies in the game. There's zombies in the dungeon. Like, you call them whatever you want. They move like zombies. They look like zombies.
They like
so hardcore fans can't bitch. And they were cool. Like, you know, they're smart. They're pretty fast. They're fun to fight. And then you get like those bird things, which are like they have like human feet.
like the weird, they
like
have
that.
long tongues or like whatever the fuck that is.
The Tengu warriors.
Yeah, I was playing the Tengu song.
Those are annoying. They're not hard
First
to
of
kill.
all, yeah, they're not. They need aloe on their bodies.
They
Crushes.
ashy. Ashy as fook. Yeah, that's where you get the most puzzles too. You get like the statue one. You get the one with the bells, which you saw the bell outside, like far into the distance. I didn't see it. I was like, where's the bell? But yeah, just you know, yeah, I could have took another hour of the castle. That would have been cool. You know, but it ends. And you know, you fight the girls. You have to shoot the windows, freeze them to death. They're like, "Oh my god, it's cold." It's silly.
I know. When you go to the theater, she's gonna want a sweater. Guess what? You don't have to bring them a sweater. They'll die.
They can't go into the meat freezer.
Yeah.
Die.
All that chicken that mommy wants to make.
Yeah, they can't have barbecues because they can't go outside. That's why they're so pale. They've never seen sunlight. Alright, but yeah, you fight her. The boss fight's decent. You know, she flies around. She's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man. And then, I don't know what he says. He says something stupid after he kills her. He's like, you're a crazy bitch or something.
Yeah. Oh
Every time he kills a boss, he says something stupid.
I think one of my favorites was like that one was like, and stay down.
Yeah.
Alright, he exploded. I don't think he's coming back up.
Yeah.
And then we were like, some assholes have to ice skate uphill.
That's not how it goes. It's
Oh,
some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
that's right. You know that movie.
Yeah. I think he says like, you're the one that's cursed to one of them.
He does.
Ethan's funny, man. He
killed me in this
funny.
game. Honestly, like he grew on me immensely.
Oh, you got the Duke, which is
I love the Duke.
the merchant.
You know, he was kind of like, to me, like, he reminded me of, like, Cass from Breath of the Wild, where anytime you saw him, I was just, like, this breath of fresh air, like, this relief, like, it's the Duke! And, like, I don't know, he was just an enjoyable presence.
He's your only.
Only friend.
Yeah!
Oh,
He's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, he's your only friend in the game because Chris is not doing you any favors until.
Heisenberg
the
tries
last
to be
act.
your friend. You just reject him.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about
not
that part.
going to, who's not going to Dave and Buster's?
No.
Not gonna bro out with your bros.
No.
So between the boss fights, you head back to the village because you know some of it unlocks again, and you know you go into people's houses, steal their shit. You know, it's good stuff. And then eventually, oh, this is where you get you find out your baby's basically cut into 4 pieces.
Oh yeah, that was fucking cool. I mean, like, it was trippy, but like, genuinely good reveal to that.
I screamed. I was like, no! That's
Yeah.
my baby!
I was like, is that it? She dead?
Yeah, that was very unnerving. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, they went there. That was crazy.
They cut up a baby.
So yeah, then you go to the dollhouse, and you once you get in there, all your weapons are gone. Weapons are gone, and you have to solve a escape room. And you wake up and there's like a mannequin of Mia on the table. You have to examine it, take it apart, get different keys and clues. And I love stuff like that. I love taking my time and just trying to figure it out little by little. You get the wedding ring, and then you have to put it in the sink to wash it, and then you get the code from it. Then you open up the lock.
That was cool. I was like, dang. But I kept my eyes closed through most of those sequences.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that level is really good because it like amps up the tension. Like, little by little, you hear things. The lights start to go out. Like, as soon as you keep the more you solve, the more scarier it gets.
Yeah.
Until you get to the point where you unlock like that secret room. You're going into the well, and then you like hear a baby crying. You see a
worst noise by far. Worst fucking noise.
You see the little thing where you put the baby. I don't know what that's called. Like a tiny little
crib.
Yeah, it's not a crib. It's a thing that sways back and forth. I think it was a cradle. Yeah. Cradle. You go in the well. You're like, oh my god, am I gonna fight the ring? The girl from the ring down here. But
I would have rather dealt with her. Okay.
Literally.
Don't even fight.
Yeah, I think you get the scissors there. And then you go up, and then you turn the corner, and there's like a giant fucking fetus coming at you.
Fuck that!
Yeah, this one the game was like, we're gonna turn into Silent Hill real quick.
It was very Silent Hill.
And screw at you.
Told him, I was like, I think they were doing a nod to Silent Hill.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, but...
Yeah, that was definitely like full-on PT vibes. And I'm not mad at that. It's like,
no.
PT... never came out, so you do you.
It never came out, and yet it's been inspiring a bunch of shit, for sure.
Yeah, but that part is, like, just super freaky. Because you're not used to that, like, in a Resident Evil game. Just, like, throwing, like, some weird, like, demonic fetus at you.
Or you hear the...
Fuck that.
And I was just like, is he gonna say, Rose, is that you? You know what I'm saying? Even though he figured out that his baby be in some Welch's jelly jars. You know?
Rose, you got a 10. You look like hamburger helper.
God, rude.
Meatwad.
Terrible.
They screwed up the reveal because when you go into one of the bedrooms, you can hide. You notice you can hide under the bed. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, something's gonna chase me eventually.
Oh.
So they could have done that better.
Like, and I thought the crying was bad, but then the bitch starts laughing, and I'm like, stop making noises.
Yeah, you see the umbilical cord too, and the blood. It's just.
Oh my god, I didn't see that. Oh, thank God I didn't really look. I saw that. I was like, ah!
When he got in the elevator and turned around, and I like really just saw it for the first time. Fuck that. That was easily the part that I like just full jumped. Like I got scared because like
Yeah, so when you're hiding under the bed, that's when Ethan does his best acting because he's like hyperventilating, and I'm like, that's like super realistic. I dig it. And you're just waiting for this thing to leave. And I read one review. It was like, I swear, if that thing looks under the bed, I'm quitting this game. And that baby, it takes a long time in that bedroom too, so you don't know what's gonna happen. So you're just like,
God, he does.
You're like tight butthole the entire time.
I thought you were like fucking with me at first when you got on the bed. I'm like, is this the bad hiding spot? Did you pick the bad hiding spot on purpose?
No, I'm sure there's like ways you can like juke him and like leave earlier, but I just don't want to risk it because I did get killed by him once at the very end when you put the fuse in the elevator. When I got in the elevator, I couldn't find the button, so it just fucking killed me. God. And he swallows you whole, and you see it from his perspective. You're like,
gross.
Like it gums you down. It's not like it had any teeth, but you would obviously die from fright. Forget it. Just kill me there.
Heart attack before the digestion.
Yes. If that's not traumatizing enough, you go upstairs and then the fucking place is filled with dolls now. And they like go up in your face. They're like, we're gonna castrate you, Ethan Winters. So that part was underwhelming though, because you have to like find the doll like 3 times and just stab it in the head. Like they could have done something more creative.
I think so too. And like it's hard to come off of like giant creepy fetus baby and like do something scarier. But I think it could have been a little like I was very surprised when you did that final blow and it killed her too. I assumed that you were gonna kill the puppet and then she was gonna like have some kind of other form.
Transformation.
Yeah, and like, oh shit, you just killed my best friend or something. But then she just fell to the ground and died, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I guess they wanted to give you a break from like all the shooty bang bang, which is fun because but I like shooty bang bang. The guns feel
the other 3 that way.
The guns in this game feel way better than 7, and you can upgrade them. You can't do that in 7. And you can actually, you can go hunting. You can get fish and chicken, pigs.
Because you're hungry.
Yeah, and it upgrades your health, your speed.
And that kind of breaks it up, too. It gives you a little bit of a time to, like, be the hunter instead of the hunter.
Yeah, you can, like, if you get...
Catch some chickens.
If you're stressed, like, just take a break and go hunt some fish.
Yeah.
And you can't do that stuff in 7.
What's crazy is you made me think of Tomb Raider, because I remember the first game... They were talking about hunting animals. You only hunted once. And
yeah.
then they didn't use it again.
Yeah, the first level, they're like, oh man, she's starving. You gotta like hunt deer and shit. And they make you think like it's gonna be a important mechanic in the game. And they're like, no, it's just that one time. She don't need to eat again. But yeah, that was cool. You know, it's cool to like mix things up. And then there's like side quests you can go on and find like bonus treasure and items and stuff. Like I love games that reward you for exploring, because you know it's not exactly like it's not a linear path. You can just like do whatever you want. But yeah, the whole dollhouse was cool. Some people were like, that wasn't scary, and I'm like, oh fuck you.
You're liars.
Yeah.
What the fuck scares you?
Yeah, it's like Critical was like, this wasn't scary at all, and then the comments are like, well, he's playing in broad daylight with all the lights on, and he's talking to the chat. So, yeah, with one headphone.
Whatever, Critical.
Yeah, so of course it's not going to be scary. You're not going to get the same effect like that.
No. You gotta play, I mean, I meant to do this a couple times, but you gotta play horror games, like, in the dark, if you can. Lights off. Dark, nighttime, or close to. That's the best way to do it.
Alright. So after that is the fish guy, which...
I like the boss fight. Obviously, the level was a little...
but lacks imagination.
I do like the opening the level where you come in and you just get fucking attacked by that thing. That's kind of intense, but... It's like, good opening, good final boss, kind of a slow middle for that.
Yeah, the whole...
was an underwhelming... That's the level I liked the least.
Yeah.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah, it was like meant to like create tension, but after that dollhouse,
it does
nothing really like reaches that height again.
It does have the best zip line though. When you're zip line and he jumps out and fucking almost gets that's a good one.
Yeah, and this is when you finally see Chris again. Like, let me tell you, like Chris is on the box for this game.
He is.
He's on the box, and he doesn't really do anything important until like the very end, and that's very misleading marketing.
Well, like I told you when we first started playing and I saw that we were playing as Ethan again, I was like, I thought we were playing as Chris. Like, well, Ethan's here? Okay.
I feel like they just put him in the game for fan service, because it didn't have to be Chris, but whatever.
They did.
Yeah.
But they love him.
I know. He's Capcom's
baby boy.
Daddy senpai. Senpai. They fixed his face, though, thank God. Because Chris in Resident Evil 7 was like, I don't know.
That was not Chris.
That was a melted block of cheese.
Zach Morris. That was Zach Morris on the cut.
Zach Morris. No, it's like when you order something online. No. When you order something at the drive-thru, it looks really good. Like, and then when you get it, it's like all nasty and messed up. That's what Chris was in 7. And then they were like, oh yeah, we have pictures of him in the last game. Let's use that as a reference.
Oh no.
Fix his face. But I like his design in this one. He looks very old and grizzled, like he should. And he's like pushing 50 at this point in the timeline.
He's getting too old for this shit.
Where's Claire?
But you see him again, and again he doesn't explain anything. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Oh no! He says, "I'm surprised you made it this far."
Yeah, there's even a point where he's like, "How fucking dare you? Are you stupid? Why'd you follow me? And even though I didn't answer any of your questions, and I shot your wife, like Chris, what did you fucking expect him to do?" God. And then he's like, "Fine, I'll tell you everything." Like, this would have been very helpful several hours ago, Chris.
It's bad writing.
It's literally just for that surprise factor, because I can't say that off the bat. It would ruin it.
As a story purpose. Like, if he was about to explain everything and they got separated, okay.
Okay.
But don't just be
like, if he was on the truck ready to explain it to you, and then that's when you got hit or whatever and got separated. Like, okay.
Exactly. Don't be a mystery box for the sake of...
And then get mad when he tries to figure shit out. Like, dude.
It's done. But you see him again. He doesn't help you in that boss fight. So all you're doing in that level, once you get there, when you take the boat and get to the dock, you're basically just running around avoiding the fish guy, flipping switches to get the power on, to get a crank, and
open
then
that dam.
Yeah, and then once you open the dam, you fight the boss, which is okay. It's okay. It's not like spectacular. Sometimes he does acid rain, which is a bitch to avoid because I forget where it is. And yeah, it's alright. Like, it's probably like the weakest section.
I enjoyed parts of it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a blink and you miss it. It's the one you can do the fastest.
Oh, yeah. We did it in like, what, like an hour?
No, not even. That was like 20 minutes. But yeah, do fish guy, and then you get to the real meat, Heisenberg.
Oh, that's some meat. That's a fucking 5-layer meat sandwich.
Get the meaty
with
section.
Extra cheese and lettuce and pickles and literally any fucking thing else you can think of. Like, and they're at the point where you're like, I can't fucking finish the sandwich. And Heisenberg is like, we still have 3 more sandwiches to go. So much fucking shit.
Yeah.
And like Ethan really reflects it too, because he's constantly going like, "There's more? Oh my god, when does it end?"
But he has the most charisma out of all of them. And it's like I wanted to see more of him, but you only see him like at the beginning of the section and at the end. So that was disappointing. But first he makes you go through like the Lycan stronghold. So you're like in werewolf paradise. It's like a transformation guy's wet dream in there. And this is where they're like, okay, you got your guns back. You're going all in, guns blazing. The first time I played it, I shot every Lycan. I killed everyone. Second time I just ran past most of them.
Yeah, you did.
Because you can. Like, I was just thinking that, oh, maybe I'm supposed to kill all of them. But you don't have to. You can, like, run through most of it.
He was just like, bye, don't touch me, don't, bye. Just, like, not stopping for shit.
And then you fight Daddy Lycan at the end. The big axe.
You mean, what's that other Muppet? Who's that monster Muppet?
What?
So, look, I'm gonna give you a picture. Hold on. The Muppet Show Giant. It was a giant. What's his name?
I don't know.
Give me the name. Sweetums. My guy looking like Sweetums. Okay? Look, I'm gonna put it in the Discord. Tell me I am wrong. This is what the last boss werewolf did.
That's great.
Shit. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the thumbnail
like
for this
Resident
episode.
Evil 8 boss looking like.
So yeah, you kill Daddy Lycan, you get your daughter's like head or torso at this point. And then you put all the pieces in the machine, and then they give you a thing, and then you put it on top of another thing. And then it gives you access to Heisenberg's factory.
Which is the fun part.
Yeah. Yoko, you hated this part, so you talk about this part.
Oh man, the factory was basically what if Heisenberg wanted to make Dave and Buster's, but all animatronics, and like they just don't want to serve people because they work at minimum wage and they know it, but still they like Heisenberg, but Heisenberg isn't in charge of everything, so they want to fight the system. That's the best way I can describe it. So there's robots, there's Terminator 2, there's the bootleg Terminator, There's one who's got like an airplane for a face. That was annoying. It was like it was going. Like then there was like chainsaw hands, drill hands, Freddy Fazbear. Like
Edwards.
they were all there.
Edward Scissor Tits. Yeah.
Yeah, Edward Scissor Tits. Oh my god, if they had tits there. And then they had the nuns reincarnated as Edward Scissor Tits. I'm like, y'all need to just. Like, I could feel how many bullets you were putting into those guys because it took forever for them to go down.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to wait till they exposed their glowy tits. Or
That they would often cover.
Their glowing nipples.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their glow-in-the-dark nipples.
And I'd be like, look, get him now! Get him now! I was like, backseat driving you. Get him now! No, you missed! What are you doing?
Yeah, that's like the thing about the factory. It's like it's not scary because this level can be in any video game, especially a first-person shooter. Like, there's nothing unique about it, you know. Like the castle was.
It's not scary. Like it feels the least horror-driven.
It's just frustrating because they throw all these people at you. They got the people with the Cyclops glasses on.
Jetpacks.
That's the worst part. The fucking super shredders that come at you when they're all armored up. You throw a bomb at them and they still like hit you. It sucks. But the cyborg with the drill, I didn't mind those because it's like, all right, they're kind of cool. They look cool and there's a strategy to them. You have to aim for the weak spot. And eventually I got the hang of it. So it was just like a lot.
It's a good design. They just used him again a lot. And I feel like, I don't know.
And this is on standard, so I'm sure if you play like hardcore or higher, they probably throw more of those guys in there.
Jesus Christ.
So that's gotta suck. But yeah, like, you know, the second time, I got through it pretty quickly the second time, but the first time, it's confusing because the way it's, the layout is like a labyrinth. And it's dark, so sometimes you get switched up, turned around. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know where you're going, you're going to take a while in that section. And then you have to backtrack downstairs because you get molds and you have to put it in the machine while these guys chase you. You know, it just gets a little tiring.
During this part of the game, at some point, Ethan started glitching too, and he just kept grunting in pain like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was doing the little ball puzzle where you guided through the maze, and the whole time we were on that ball puzzle, he kept grunting like he was in pain.
Like, Ethan, are you good?
My gosh, Ethan!
My guy!
Let's talk about his hand issue. They always messing up his hands. Dude goes to get a taco, cuts off his hand. Dude opens the door, cuts off his hand. Dude goes to take a poopy. Guess what happens?
Hand flushes down the
Cuts
toilet.
off. That too. And then he just puts it back on.
No big deal.
Yeah, well, there's a good explanation for that. But
yes.
It's coming up
and
soon.
what might that explanation be?
First, we gotta talk about that boss fight, okay?
Sick.
We gotta talk about the boss fight. Like, my thing with Heisenberg is, like, he can manipulate metal. Like Magneto.
Yes.
He can do all these cool things. So what does he do? He creates a Megazord out of junk. And he fights Ethan that way. Like, this would have been a cool way to demonstrate his powers by, like, having, like, a platforming section. Like, you're running and then, like, the floor falls or something like that. Or he, like, switches things up. Like, you could have done a lot with Heisenberg's abilities. And they just used it to make a fucking
They just
Megazord.
kind of threw a bunch of shit together.
Yeah.
Literally.
And
you know, I was like, I still think it has one of the coolest environments. Like, I love the rain and the open field with the lights. I really liked that setting for it. But I noticed when you were fighting him, I'm like, this looks really easy.
well, yeah, this is when Chris comes back too, and he finally explains what's going on.
Yeah, finally.
And it's like, yeah, I knew you'd get in the way if I told you. And it's like, dude,
I'm gonna get in the way if you don't.
Regardless, you kidnapped him from his house. It's not like you
killed his wife, took his baby, and then is like, you're gonna get in the way if I. No, he's gonna get in the way if you don't fucking tell him, Chris.
What you Chris, what are you expecting?
Yeah.
What are you?
Him to just
What
shut up and
social
sit
skills-
down?
I know, but his social skills are so poor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if Sheva was here, he beat the shit out of him. So Chris doesn't want him to get in the way, and he even says keep a low profile. But this dude builds him like a Gatling gun attached to a chainsaw.
The power glove moment.
Yeah, like it's like a bulldozer with a Gatling gun and a chainsaw and a missile launcher. And he has the audacity to be like, keep a low profile, Ethan. Like, Chris is like a parody in this fucking game. It's ridiculous. So you have the boss fight, which is like
You literally roll up in this
Steel
fucking
Battalion or Virtual On. And you're shooting, and when it happened, I'm like, this is not happening right now. At first, I was like, people are gonna hate this, but then I was like, all right, this is kind of cool though.
I mean, it looked fun.
Yeah, Resident Evil has a lot of goofy moments like that. Like we saw
Since
this,
the first game, it's had that.
yeah, Resident Evil 7 has this DLC where you get the power glove and you're just beating the shit out of the mold monsters.
That's silly.
So,
That was so silly. I love it.
so this is not outside of the game's wheelhouse.
Old monsters.
Yeah, literally, he's just punching them with a power glove. It's great.
I just feel the allergies hitting my throat right now just by hearing you say this.
Yeah. But yeah, that boss fight's pretty easy. Like, I didn't really get hurt. You just shoot the red spots, and then he destroys your little machine, and you just shoot him a few times with a sniper, and he's pretty much done. But I feel like a guy like Heisenberg deserved, like, I don't know, something like a cooler fight or
You
something.
know, that, and also I was going to say, like, it was very weird, because you had that really solid moment with him in the beginning where he kind of tells you what's going on with Miranda's family, and then that really cool part where he almost, like, drops you down, he's like, last chance, and Ethan, like, lets go of his hand, he's like, I'll take my chances. Like, that was all very cool, but then Heisenberg just starts lamenting about his sob story life, like, over the intercom, while Ethan's just screaming, like, I don't care, Heisenberg!
Yeah.
And that was just weird. It's a weird way to get his, like, feelings out.
Ethan's not
My
Dr. Phil.
sister took the last grain of my cinnamon toast crunch. Now how unbelievable!
I
is
fucking hate
that?
this family!
And what does Mother Miranda do?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Right? And then what does he do? Turn into a Tonka truck afterwards? You gotta eat that Tonka truck?
You roll up in this big ass machine, he's like, fuck, that's cooler than mine. I just have a bunch of metal I set up
No,
together.
right? I'm just saying, like, he was a Tonka truck. He looked like one of those Tonka trucks from 1999.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, that reminds me. I forgot to talk about the worst part of this game, and that's fighting Airplane Face.
Oh, yeah.
I hate him.
That to me, that's the worst part of the game. It's so annoying. It takes forever. You have to wait for him to hit the thing, and then you have like a split second to get some shots off, and then he shoots fire at you because of course he can. Like, that's normal. You have to go around him. Like, that's the worst part of the game for me. Screw that part.
I agree.
But yeah, you kill Heisenberg, and then Miranda shows up finally. She was the old lady the whole time. You know, she was like talking in riddles. And what does she do?
She rips Ethan's fucking heart out of his chest.
Does a fatality on Ethan.
Oh yeah, the fatality.
Straight up rips his heart out, and he did.
Drinks his blood.
He did.
And he
Beep
falls
bop, beep
down,
boop
and I
bop, you're
cry.
dead.
'Cause Ethan is gone.
A metaphor for like breaking up with
Breaking
a
up.
girl that he met years ago. That's what that's for.
Yeah. But then what happens? You get to play as Chris.
Motherfucking Chris Redfield.
Chris boulder punching Redfield. And the game goes full Call of Duty, giving you like night vision.
It does.
And people don't like this part. I love this part. I was like, let's get it. Let's just mow through these lichens. Because the whole game you're like frustrated. You know, you're kind of like low powered, but then when you're Chris, you're like, oh shit, like it's like an invincibility star. It's like
Yeah, pretty much. And you had like a lot infinite ammo, right?
not infinite ammo, but they give you way more than you need. They give you a lot of ammo, a lot of health. So that part's not aggressively hard until you have to like point the laser thing at the mold, and you have to like.
Oh yeah, and
avoid
the
the
lichens are
lichens.
like climbing on the roof after you. You're like, get the fuck out of the way! Get the fuck out of the way!
Yeah, but I like playing as Chris because hey man, I'm a Chris supporter, so that was cool. I'm really hoping we get a DLC where it shows what Chris was doing while Ethan was out there.
Yeah, what the fuck was he up to?
It'd be really cool DLC.
So many gaps. It would be
Yeah, and then you fight another daddy lichen, and you have to like wait for your boy to like charge the laser beam or whatever that shit was. And you're just like in this tiny arena going in circles. It's like, Chris, you can like punch him to death. Like, why do you need your friends to help you? Come on. But yeah, it was a good part. Like, I liked it. And then you save Mia. You find out Mia's captured again, because that's like all she's good for.
That's funny. Mia's like, they experimented on me.
Yeah, they made me pee in a cup.
You don't understand. He's special.
But yeah, once you go in that room, that's where like the story's like exposition vomits everything that's missing. Like you read all the files and you're like, oh, Miranda created Evelyn because she was trying to bring her baby back to life, but it went terribly wrong. So she's kidnapped Rose because she's like, this is gonna be my baby now.
They literally just toss you in a library and like, do some reading, bitch. Wake up.
They explain like all the other guys like why they got their powers and shit. And then they throw it back to the original game. They're like, oh, Miranda and Oswald Spencer were like homies, and that's where he got the idea to make Umbrella because of that little crest. It's like, sure, why not? Well, don't you love retcons?
I love it. I love it.
And then, yeah, Mia says, like, Ethan's special, and then you find out the whole time Ethan's been dead since the opening of part 7. He's just a mold man. And it's like...
She was basically doing mold.
Yeah. She was getting it on with a human piece of mold. Riveting. Riveting stuff. And it makes sense, but it's like, if that's true, why didn't he become evil like the Bakers?
Pure dad heart.
Because he has pure heart, right? He can't become evil.
Pure daddy heart.
So that's the only thing I don't buy in the whole twist. I'm like, okay, whatever. But it explains why he gets like his hands chopped off and hurt all the time, and he can come back. So the power of, he uses his dad power, the big dad energy, to get back up on his feet and take on Miranda. It's the final boss, which is way better than the final boss in part 7, which is a giant face.
Yeah.
He just keeps shooting until it dies. Yeah, so Miranda, it's a decent final boss. It's not too frustrating. It's like, just shoot her.
Very chatty.
She throws fireballs. Yeah, they talk a lot in that fight. Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you talking so much?
Shut up and kill each other.
Yeah, just shut up.
Like, stop talking. Make it end. Oh.
Miranda, shut up.
And yeah, he puts down Miranda. I wish we got to know her better. She seemed like an interesting antagonist, but again, they didn't soup her up. It would have been cool if she like survived and came back in like the next game. That would have been cool.
Well, it's now baby Eve, Rose, Denishwa. I don't know.
Rose. But yeah, Ethan saves Rose, gives her the Chris because Ethan's like falling apart because the mold thing is like about to, like the village is like where the mold came from. It's like the base. And once that goes, Ethan presumably dies too because he's made of it. He sacrifices himself. Gives a noble sacrifice.
Blows himself up.
He's dead. He died. Now, were you sad when he sacrificed himself?
No.
Wow.
I was. I like Ethan. I got attached. I only watched him die once and then come back to life in the fucking longest sequence in the fucking world, and then they kill him again.
Happy Father's
Rude.
Day.
Rude!
Me, I'm like, meh.
Yeah. And then right before like the credits roll, they do this thing where like, hey, the BSAA is using bioweapons, and Chris is like, we gotta stop them, and that's it. It's like such a sloppy like sequel bait.
Yeah.
It's really like forced like plot thread. And then you see Rose as a teenager. Apparently she got powers.
We don't know what yet, though.
They called her something.
Evelyn, right?
He called her Evelyn to like fuck with her. She's like, don't call me that.
No.
I will use my
That is such
fake powers on you.
crush his sternum. I just wanted to see it.
But yeah, it's basically the game, and then you go in the options and you unlock mercenaries, because they brought that back, thank God. Which I only played once. I'm never really good at mercenaries. But I'm glad it's there, because Resident Evil 3 Remake was like, you don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the game.
that's the game. I like it. I like where it's going. I'm excited to see what happens next.
On the next time.
Yeah, hopefully it's DLC. I'd like to play as Chris again. But, well, we got a little more time. You want to talk about that discussion we were talking about between, like, old school gaming and new school gaming?
Yeah, just briefly.
Yeah. So
I've been having this issue where some of my, like, I'm having this issue where a lot of the older games that I want to play, I can't. And what I mean older games, like some of the PS2 era games, I'd like to play them on PS4. Because I like my PS4, and I like my Switch. And I noticed what the Switch is doing, they're doing a lot of DLC for a lot of the older games. Versus, like, the PS4, you have to get PlayStation Now or whatever, and I don't want to... No, I'm not buying that. Sorry, PlayStation. I love you a lot, but no. And I just want to play Sly Cooper or Spyro. Thankfully, the remake for the Insane Trilogy, I can get a physical copy. Same thing with Crash Bandicoot. I will keep those physical copies because I gave my old ones away foolishly, and I don't want to have to find and collect them again because the games are becoming expensive. So it's frustrating for me. What about you?
That's why I buy everything physically, because you just never know when it's gonna just disappear on the eShop, or if you, let's say, an example, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get a free game every month. But if you're not a member anymore, they'll just lock the game. Like, you just won't be able to play it anymore, and that's stupid.
And I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I want these games. Are you gonna resell them? Because what I have to do now is, it's stupid. I had to buy, like, I wanted Final Fantasy 13. I thought they were gonna re-release it on the PS4, like how they re-released 10, 16 million times. And
Yeah.
I thought they were going to release 13 again in like a bundle on the PS4, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally down for that. Give it to me. But no, had to get it on the PC, which wasn't too expensive. I got all 3 games for $20. But I have the physical copies still because I don't want to fucking have to buy them again or lose them. I had to buy the game twice. Is what I'm saying. I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Riley?
I think we need to hurry the fuck up because, like, even Nintendo, which is porting a lot of things to the Switch, like, is kind of like they could be porting better stuff. That like it like Nintendo's always been a little frustrating with getting their backwards compatibility and like bringing old games to the forefront again. And even though that the Switch is starting to get, like, more and more games, like, there's a ton of the games going on the Switch. It's like, what about shit like, I don't know, like Earthbound? Like, I've never played Earthbound. I would love to play Earthbound, but, like, are we ever going to get that to happen? Like, it feels silly that they have this opportunity to do that with, but then they won't. And I don't know. But as far as, like, PS4 goes, it's a little frustrating that there's, like, multiple subscriptions. I wish they could bundle everything together. Like, online play older games. Like, just make it one fucking there. One charge. Everything. Because, like, to me, it's like, I had PlayStation Now for a little bit, but it was hard to justify paying for that. And then online, and, like, it's just a lot.
And PlayStation Now has a pretty decent library of games. That's why I play all the God of Wars and...
Yeah, and Sly Cooper's on there, too.
Ninja Gaidens. There's some good indie stuff there, too.
And Ape Escape.
Oh man, Ape Escape. See, but I want the physical copies of these games.
I also want the non-British version because the British voices kill me and I hate them. And the original voices, or the American version, has fucking Ash and Misty voicing them, the two main characters. So, like, hello, give me the English one.
Yeah. Wait, you have the PAL version?
Yep. Yeah, it's the European version.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I cannot stand it. Their voices drive me insane, but I love that game too much to not play it.
Yeah, it's such a great game. It's challenging and refreshing.
Fun as fuck. So fun.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from 100%. What I ended up doing was buying a Japanese PlayStation 1 and then getting the Japanese versions of these games because they're at least $20 to like $50 cheaper.
No way, really.
Yeah, like I got this game called Tail Concerto, and I got it in Japanese. But my friend surprised me and got it in English, so I'm like, I'm never giving this game up again. Because it was $40 when I got it, when I was a kid, and I sold it because I beat the hell out of it. And then I was like, man, I missed this game, and I tried getting it back, and they were like, ha, 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 you'll never see this game again. And I was like, wow, y'all are cold.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when I was younger and I got rid of all of my Sonic games, it was like the biggest mistake of my life. And like, so now I like have this rule for myself that I don't get rid of my games anymore. I'm like, fuck it, no. At some point I might want to, like, I just have my like bin of like games and I'm like, I'm not getting rid of any of these.
Yeah, I got like a book. Most of them have my PS2 games, and then the PS1 games have their cases because I cherish them. Because some PS1 games I have are in Japanese, and they're mostly, you know, property based. Like I got Cardcaptor Sakura.
Ooh.
I got Power Rangers or Super Sentai, and they're pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the PlayStation Classic, which was a disappointment, but then people found a way to make it not a disappointment, was the best investment, because for like, I got it for $25 when the hype was down, and I got a USB and had all these games in it.
That's so cool.
So invest in one of those. You can easily get Ape Escape English version, no problem.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I should. Thanks for the heads up with that. I will look into that.
Here, my biggest problem with modern gaming is that companies think they could put out a half-assed product and then just patch it later.
Don't even talk to me about this shit. It drives me fucking nuts. They'll put out a half-finished game, they'll call the rest of the game DLC, and then make you pay more for it.
Yeah, that's the
Fuck
worst.
off!
No, but that's the worst thing we're experiencing.
Yeah, I
right
hate
now
it.
with
I really
modern
do hate
gaming.
that.
And it's taking over like a plague. Like Cyberpunk was just like the biggest casualty of that. And I'm just worried that, you know, going forward with this new generation of consoles is going to become more commonplace.
I think it's just like this idea that like people can't wait for games, and like I get it because there are a lot of impatient people.
It takes a long time,
but like they feel like they have to, like, every company feels like they have to push out like a single game from like at least this franchise like once a year at least. Like we gotta do
about
it,
quarterly
even if it's
earnings.
not done.
Yeah, it's about like reading their quarterly earnings quota. It's like
Well, I think about Final Fantasy VII, how it is not a done game, how it's a basically 50-hour demo. It's a 50-hour demo.
Wow, I have not
It's
played
like,
it.
prove me wrong. And we're probably going to wait another 3 years or 10, like how Kingdom Hearts was ruined. Like, I'll never play Kingdom Hearts ever again.
Wow, was 3 that bad to you?
Kingdom Hearts.
I did not play. I mean, I'm not into Kingdom Hearts, but like I heard a lot of people like 3.
Yeah.
It was mostly. I was watching my friend Yoshel's play, and it was mostly Frozen.
What?
So I just.
That sounds about right.
Mostly Frozen.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
So.
it's just a disgusting practice. It's like we were playing Mario Kart 64 before we got on here. And it's like, that's a complete game, okay? There's no DLC for that. You got the full package in the cartridge.
Well, yeah, and then like when you think of like Mario Kart 8, they had like 50 DLCs, and like when you buy it on the Switch, it's like great, everything's here. Like, but like if I was someone who like had paid for all those DLCs and shit, and then they just came out with Mario Kart 8, and I was like with everything on it, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? But like I don't know.
To me. That happened to me in Injustice.
I'm so sorry.
I bought the first Injustice, and all this DLC came out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just not. Because I wanted to. And then they came out with the gold edition, and I saw it at Edwin's house. And it had all the characters that I wanted to buy, including
Oh my god.
Batgirl. And I was like, I'm going to wait. And then Injustice 2 comes out with their own gold edition as well. And I was like, I can't.
No, that's the biggest problem with fighting games. It's like, you should never buy a fighting game day one. Because a year later, you can get the complete edition. Like, NetherRealm does this with every game. They'll release a Mortal Kombat, put out like 3 character packs, and then a year later, there's the complete edition.
Smash is pretty ridiculous too.
Yeah, like, I don't mind getting like DLC fighters and stuff, but I feel like...
But the way they charge it is weird.
Like, they could give you a bare bones roster. Like, the Power Ranger fighting game only had like 10 characters. So it's like, you know they're going to add more characters eventually. But it's like, come on, guys. Like, give us some more meat on the plate. Like, don't... What I'm saying is, don't purposely hold back characters that would normally be in the roster.
My personal, like, biggest gripe with this, and, like, a really good example of, like, what I really hate about this is Pokemon. Because Pokemon used to take a couple years at a time to come out. But now they push out a game every year. And as much as I love Pokemon and I like would die for Pokemon, they feel more and more unfinished like every time. Like, and it's unfortunate because I know if like Sword and Shield came out and there's so many elements to that game that are so good, but there's also so many elements to that game that feel emptier. And it's like if they just had more fucking time on this, they really could have slammed this game. But it just felt a little empty, unfortunately.
I feel like quality died in the DS era, the 3DS era.
Yeah, as much as I personally like Gen 6, I feel like they got to Gen 6 and I was like, okay, cool, 3D Pokemon, and then they just were like, that's it. This is where we're cutting off. This is it for the rest of the time. This is Pokemon now, and that's it. And then they just stopped trying really new things. To me, I mean, like again, Sword and Shield has a good feel, but like there's I don't know. I feel like it's missing some stuff that more time could have given it.
But they also want you to spend that money on the storage of the Pokemon, and I'm like, y'all are trifling. I am done with this. I have my DF here ready to be loved. I just had to stop because I was getting really emotionally overwhelmed by that.
Yeah, I understand. I've literally been into it since I was 3 years old, so I am trapped for the rest of my life.
We both are. It's fine.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm never buying a Fighter's Pass again. Because, no, if I don't know what fighters are going to be on there, I'm never buying
I
Fighter's Pass again.
literally only have up to Banjo because I'm just like, I'm not going to just fully go in and buy them. Like, I'm just like, if I feel like buying them, I'll get them. But Banjo was the last one that got released that I got really excited about. Terry's cool, but I'm not willing to pay for 3 Fire Emblem characters to get him.
Yeah, it's like, here's Sword Guy number 5. Your Sword Guy was a rainbow haircut.
I know everyone bitches about the Fire Emblem characters, but I mean, like, come on, man. There's more than Mario at this point.
Yeah, let me play as a Koopa Troopa.
Yeah, or a Chain Chomp. I don't
A
fucking
Goomba.
care. A Goomba!
Yeah, if they made Piranha Plant, they could make a Goomba.
Fuck yeah.
I'm just surprised in general because we got Steve. Why?
I like using Steve as a troll. Like, I'm just trolling people with Steve. I do the little taunt where he's like bending over, like tee. But Yeah, like Resident Evil was like the only game I was really looking forward to this year. And I mean, I want to play No More
Last
Heroes.
year,
I want to play No More
yeah,
Heroes 3, but I don't think it's gonna be like a day one purchase. So hopefully E3 got some good games, some good complete games. Because that's another thing, they'll put out like a really awesome presentation, but when you get the game, it's nothing like the presentation. They always like deceive you at those conferences.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
yeah.
That's why
But
so many
then
people
now
are turning
they
to indie
have-
games now.
Sorry, now they have warnings that say may not seem like the end product.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have to, because there were so many examples of that happening. Like I remember when Killzone first came out, it was like this cool thing. It was like, whoa, that the PS3 gonna look like that? And I was like, no. It's like, nope. But that's just the reality we live in, man. You just gotta be. I think gamers and buyers have to just be more aware of what they're getting. Like I do research before I buy stuff now and stuff.
Yeah.
What's killing me now is that indie games or smaller developed games are more complete
Yes.
and enjoyable.
And like,
So-
if companies don't start waking up to like what's going on, they're gonna like get destroyed by them, because people that work on indie games are like, this is my baby, this is my project. Like they'll have like a small team and like that'll be it, and
Yeah.
they'll put out this amazing fucking product when it's
Well-
got care and passion because they have the time to do it. The companies, I just feel like the companies feel like they're rushing too much, and I know that gamers are putting fucking like impatient gamers are putting pressure on them, but it's like, ignore it. They were putting pressure on people years ago, but that doesn't mean you have to release a game so fast. Like, just work on it.
That's another
Take your
thing.
time.
Like Naughty
Fix
Dog,
bugs.
Naughty Dog be whipping their employees. Like they're like, you don't see your family
Yeah.
until we say so, and that's another thing that has to stop. Like the
Yes.
work crunch. Like
Oh,
it's
fuck
very
yeah.
very toxic.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm down for waiting for 3 to 5 years for games again. If, like, it means better pay, better shit for the workers, like, I'm fine with that. We have other games we can replay, and, like, there's so many games now that it's like, just try a new game that's already come out and you're
Exactly.
waiting for that one.
Just play Bebe's Kids on the
I
Super
waited
Nintendo.
like 10 fucking years for the new Animal Crossing, when New Horizons was coming out, and they were like, oh, we're delaying it like a year, and people were, or 6 months or whatever it was, and then people were freaking out, and I'm like, I can wait forever for this fucking game. Take
And
any
that's
time
great
you need.
game.
Yes, and it was very fun, and I liked it a lot.
And it's sold like gangbusters.
It was literally what a lot of people needed in quarantine, including me.
Yeah.
It's a little happy place to go to for a little bit.
Yup.
So I was
Anything
fine
else
with it.
before we wrap up?
No, that's about it. You know, summer's here. Hopefully, it's nice to see people out and about and hugging again. So that's good.
Yeah.
It feels like things are almost back to normal. So that's nice.
Riley, anything?
No, this has been really fun. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. You know what doesn't have loading screens? Nintendo 64.
Don't be rude. My PlayStation, sometimes I gotta shove a little coal in it, but I gave it a lot of love.
But yeah, just go back to playing your old games. You need new shit.
Game Boy forever, hey!
Oh, the Virtual Boo.
For Virtual Boy will be the gaming system that will take over the world.
Oh, yeah, the gaming in the Clinton years. They thought
Yeah, gaming in the Clinton years. Everybody check out that YouTube channel. It is hilarious.
Oh yeah, gaming in the Clinton years is like the worst video game reviews ever, but it's so funny. Like he does a Toy Story review, and he won't shut up about the graphics. Like, oh, they've been made on Silicon Valley computers, and it's like, but it's not as good as the movie. He's like, come on, guys, do better.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Oh, I love it. Anyway,
But hey, everyone, thanks for listening.
yeah, thank you, Riley, for coming to chat with us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
You want to plug your MySpace?
I don't have my face. I don't have shit. Don't at me.
You don't want followers to like send you random
I have,
pictures in your
I have
DMs?
like 34 followers on Twitter. My Twitter is not for a lot of people, but I'm okay. But thank you.
You're gonna have some
You'll have to find me some other way.
We got to get that up to like 39.
All right, fine. It's at Prince of Trouble with a 1 instead of an I for the Prince, but that's it.
Yeah. You just see a lot of retweets of Bowser stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I support you on that.
Thank you, my boy.
I love Bowser too.
Ah, good shit, good shit.
Yeah.
I knew we were on the same wavelength, Yoko.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you guys just kiss already?
Shut up. You know vampires can't openly kiss unless there's given permission.
Vampire, huh?
I'm a werewolf, whatever. Anyway, yo, I'm Inu. Love you all. Good night.
Good night.
Peace.